Peace to your feet, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the streets to the world, get the real, no cap. Breaking headlines, put the truth on the map.
Yo, fast with the facts, we don't play no games. Report on what's real, we ain't chasing fame. Call Peace TV, stay locked, stay tuned. If you want the real talk, we deliver it soon. Call Peace TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the
Hey guys, back with another video. This video is about our girl Keimani Latigue. In this video, I'm just gonna play a recording. Keimani's mom did another podcast speaking out, and I'm just going to say this, her speaking out, it rubbed me the wrong way. It's a lot of things that I felt was inconsistent. It's a lot of things that just don't sit right. But that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let the video play and you guys can have your own opinion. But yeah, what I will say is at towards the end of the video, she says that Darnell, which is Keimani's dad, didn't confess to anything, to doing anything to Keimani, but her friend is also on the panel with her, and she actually says that Darnell confessed to S and Keimani, but Tiara, which is her Keimani's mom, is saying he didn't confess to anything. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that part. But it's a lot of other issues I have, but let's get into it.
Super horse. I don't really have a voice left, but any love and support from my child, I appreciate it. Name is Tiara Caston. I'm his mother.
Okay.
My name is Jazz. I'm Tiara's best friend.
Right off the top of my head, I just want to say that people have gotten it thoroughly misconstrued. I have no intent on getting attention from this. I don't want any attention from this, if I'm being honest.
Dorothy is Tiara's biological mom. She is Keimani's biological grandmother, and Darnell is Keimani's biological father.
A phone call come in. I apologize. I don't want any attention from this. I have no intention on, trying to profit off of this. I simply want what's best for my child. I am seeking justice for my daughter, by any means and all means necessary. For those that have shown love and support for me and for my child and my family throughout all of this, it is greatly appreciated and it will not be forgotten. Thank you. Dorothy is my biological mother. Keimani is my biological child. Darnell, because I've seen a lot of people ask about Darnell. Darnell is Keimani's biological father.
Okay.
Last time I spoke to Dorothy, we found my daughter.
Okay.
And that consisted of me screaming in her face and telling her that I am going to watch her rot and that she had one job, which was to protect and provide for my daughter, and she fucking failed.
Okay. Okay.
So unless you were involved in the crime, you wouldn't know that my baby's body was there. Unless you were either involved in the crime, someone that was involved confided in you, or you were in the house yourself. But I believe that my daughter even being found in the house was a setup in and of itself. Why? Because my grandmother, whose name at the time that she owned that house was Ruby Slaughter, is a previous owner. And the fact that the home was being condemned, my mother being her next of kin would have been notified. Go into it really quick, but she was taken away from me at birth. I was originally living in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And, I called my mom because I'm like, hey, uh, you told me once that I was supposed to have been aborted, but you chose to give me life anyways. And I told her, like, you know, I want to come up there and I want to allow you to see your granddaughter be born as a gift to you. Um, and she brought me up there. Uh, and it wasn't just her. My adoptive mom not wanting me or my child in the presence of my biological mother called children's services, and because she didn't know my mother, threw me under the bus. But my mother did not aid in that at all. She ran along with it and threw even more allegations on me, and they took my daughter from the hospital from me. They told me that if I came back up to the hospital, my daughter would not be there. And that if I showed up there, they would charge me with criminal trespassing. And so I didn't go back. And then we had what's called a staff meeting a couple days later at Lucas County Children's Services. And they told me that they were charging me with neglect because I didn't return to the hospital to feed my child.
So to piggyback off what you said, I know that have been tuning into this are from different states. In Ohio, as sad as it is, in Ohio, all it takes is one allegation for children's services to step in. The sad part about that is they go after the parents that are active in their kids' lives, the parents that are willing to take care of their children. And
Mm-hmm.
they also leave the children who are being abused. They overlook those cases. They take it's backwards in Ohio, and it's very sad to have this going on. Um, for people to say, "Oh, it's not that easy," it is, and it happens more often than people realize.
And I'm not I have some experience, but I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to law. I did
Mm-hmm.
4 years of pre law, but if you don't finish those last 8 years, it's a lot of information and a lot of insight that you do miss. So there's a lot of things that I did not know how to do legally. There's a lot of legal jargon that I never picked up on, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of rights that I was not made aware of that I had. Um, so I've always tried to go the legal route when it comes to my child. I've always
Mm-hmm.
wanted my child. When they took my child from me, because it was about a week before they had that initial staff meeting, um, I cried every single day, all day. I could not watch a diaper commercial. I could not watch an Infamil formula commercial. I could not go outside
Wow.
without me bawling my eyes out because
Mm-hmm.
someone at some point throughout every day was like, "Where's your baby at? I thought you were pregnant." And how do I
Wow.
tell these people they took my baby from me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as the amount of time that I got to see my child, um, it was honestly very rare. I probably only saw my child, physically saw her for about a month out of each year. I would take trips because obviously I have a life here in Cleveland that I've built. And I built this life so that I could secure a life for me and my children. And that consists of me working, that consists of me going to school, that consists of my own personal relationships, that consists of me networking and different stuff like that to try to build the situation that my kids would need for them to be stable here. Um, so I probably saw her for about a month out of each year. I would take time off or off of school and off of work and different stuff. And I would go down there, physically go down there, and I would have
Mhm.
to stay. I would have to, also network with my family members in order to secure a place to stay while I was down there because I never felt comfortable staying in my mother's home. And that was simply because me and my mother, we've never had a great relationship. I can't speak on the relationship that she
Okay.
would have or could have had with Keimani, but I know me and my mother, we never got along. My family members have always said that they felt like my mother was jealous of me. So I didn't stay in her household simply because of that. I didn't want to cause chaos in the home where my daughter was living. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, whenever Kimani would do something that my mother didn't like, or if my mother asked me to do something and I didn't do
Mhm.
it, she would cut off contact for us. She would block contact, whether it was phone that I bought from for Kimani from her, or blocking me from her phone and Kimani's phone, telling people to keep a close eye so that Kimani's not sneaking in talking to me, different things like that. The only time I ever was really able to see my child, because there are times when I went down there with
Mhm.
to see my child, and she made sure that didn't happen. Um, the only time that she actually let me see my kid is when I came with like a full card full of money to put stuff in the house and buy her things or buy Kimani things and fill up the house with food, all that type of stuff, even though I'm not staying. Officially got custody. My mother officially got custody the end of August 2024, and I started paying child support from there. Um, when it came time, because I know this was another question people were asking, like, what took mom so long to show up? I had just paid my mom $900 in child support. Um, and I had some catching up to do. I'm still, as of now, there's 26 and some change that hasn't been posted because I ran out of money. But I had just bought like $500 worth of clothes and shoes, Stanley Cups, jewelry, different stuff like that for my daughter. And then I had spent $900 to put towards her child support. And then I gave my daughter $100, Kimani. I gave her $100 for her birthday. And her dad was the one that drove her down here to me on the 15th. And he was
Mhm.
complaining about he hadn't ate all day and his tank was low. So I gave him $60. Here's 20 to go eat for
Mm.
you and Imani, and then here's 40 for your tank so you can get back home. So
Mm.
I was flat broke when I found out what was going on with Kimani being missing. Not only that, but I had also just spent a gang of money too because my youngest daughter's birthday was St. Patty's Day, the day before she supposedly went missing. So all of my money was spent. I was rubbing pennies together trying to come up with a way to get up there. Honestly, and honestly, most of the time that I talked to Kimani, it was just her
Mhm.
telling me about like what was going on in her life. Like, oh, I joined the basketball team. I'm getting really good at it. Oh, she came out to me and told me that she thought she was gay. I had a conversation with her about that. Um,
Mhm.
she told me about like the video games that she's been playing, the new friends that she has, um,
Mhm.
things that she's done with her, like different activities that she did with her dad or or my mom or whatever. Um, and that's why I'm kind of like I'm still very much confused to this day as to why she didn't discuss with me what was going on inside that home or wherever the trauma was going on because
Mhm.
I've always been a person. I keep open lines of communication with my kids. I
Mhm.
spent most of my life trying to be better than those that birthed me and those that raised me. um
Mhm.
I remember the things that I want kids to go through that I feel like I paid the price so that they wouldn't have
Mhm.
to. right? So
Mhm.
when it comes to raising my kids, I keep open lines of communication. I'm not the parent that when my kid is talking to me and they ask a question that might not be appropriate for them, I'm not the parent that's like, "Hey, stay in a child's place." I'm not the
Mhm.
parent that's going to tell you respect your elders if they're not respecting you. I talk to
Can I
my kids about
interject?
everything. I always give my kids the utmost support, the utmost love.
Mhm.
If my daughter would have came to me and been like, "Hey, this is happening and I don't feel safe," I would have sat down with her and we would have come up with a plan. We
Okay.
would have gotten her out of there. I'm far from perfect. There's definitely times where I've called
Mhm.
multiple of my friends, including Jazz, and I'm like, I feel like I'm failing my kids just because I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I have my shortfalls. We all do. I'm not perfect by far. I never proclaim to be, but I do my
Mhm.
best.
Interject real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to say, because I've been seeing this a lot in the chat, she has fought. One thing about Cuyahoga County Division of Family Services,
Mhm.
there was a caseworker set up. Visitation is based off of what the caseworker and the court goes off of. If you did listen very closely to what Dorothy said, that she gained legal custody a year prior to that.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
temporary custody and there's legal custody. When a child is placed in temporary custody, certain things are set up for that child, either a permanent placement, which is where legal custody comes in at,
Mhm.
or a more permanent living situation. I have personally myself have seen Tiara call countless lawyers.
Mhm.
Every house that I've seen Tiara have, I've been to, there was always a room for Kimani there. There was nowhere that I felt like she failed at all. She tried the best that she can. When you have a child in that situation, all you could do was
Mhm.
call. Sometimes waiting on a call back is not enough. She went in person, she went and got a lawyer, she spoke to caseworkers. I felt like she did everything she really could do. I don't know what people had expected her to do. Run down to the building and act crazy. That's not going to
Mhm.
get anything done. But I've seen this for years her try. She didn't stop trying. She kept trying. I literally known Tiara for almost 13 years. I was a child at the time. I did have the pleasure of meeting her other children, and she tried. It's hard when you see someone very close to you. It don't have to be a best friend. It could be a cousin. It's
Mhm.
hard to see someone go through something and you can't fix the problem for them, but be beside them during that time. She has tried. She has spoken to caseworkers. She is speaking to judges. She really tried, and I feel like the system is unfair at
Mhm.
times. And I bring that up, and I say that very strongly because I'm tired. I'm from Ohio as well. I'm tired of seeing the news where it's kids being abused and beaten at the hand of someone that was in a household and they do nothing. And it's sad when you
Mhm.
see reports of caseworkers being there, caseworkers dismissing things, similar to Kimani's situation. But they're so quick to interject when their child is really not in danger. When you have a mother that, hey, the mother might be going through PTSD or something like that, or postpartum, which is true because some women do have that after pregnancy and they're so quick to take them. So where's that energy with these children that keep popping up like this? That keep popping up like this and you do nothing until it's too late. That's draining
Mm.
and stressful, and that right there is a big issue with the system at this moment.
Mm.
Because
The
it's
system is broken.
Kimani,
It's
her
been
life mattered.
broken.
She mattered. She's very important. And there's other children. And with this conversation, is to help other
Mhm.
children as well. If these children have no voices and the ones that are fighting, oh my gosh, you're not trying hard enough. It's easy to say what you would do until you're put in that position. When your back is against the wall and you have overused your resources, what do you do? at that point. And that's what I feel like people are failing to realize. Oh, well, I would have did this, I would have did that. You wouldn't know
Right.
through every person that you have gone through, right? The caseworker, the supervisor, the CEO. It don't matter. You go through all them people and you get the same answers. And then what? And then what do? You
Yes,
don't stop trying.
I do think she had something to do with it because her
Okay.
story's not making sense. No part of the story makes sense. Not from the time that she claims that my daughter went missing, not from the time
Mm-hmm.
she claims that she got home and noticed she was missing. Her actions afterwards don't make sense. She never actually conducted a search and rescue. Nothing. I think she's very much a part of this. Posted and said that she was going to do a search and rescue. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
that showed up ended up at her house with blue gloves on, taking stuff out of that house, including my daughter's bed. So, no, I very much believe that my mother played a part. Not only that, but there is camera footage, which the detectives have, of
Mm-hmm.
her dumping a suitcase full of clothes um, in Navarre Park, which is where I happened to be when we got the call saying that my mother had called and said that my daughter was in the house on Miami. And my lawyer, having spoke to the prosecutor, he
Mm-hmm.
explained it in a way. He said that the jails in Lucas County are entirely too overpopulated. They are far over capacity, and they don't have enough COs to be able to keep her alive long enough for her to make it to trial. But she was instructed not to leave the city, not to leave the state, which she did both. And
Mm.
she is still very much under investigation as of now.
Oh.
Reach Detective Kincaid, who was the lead detective of the missing persons unit. I reached out to her at least a good 10 times. Um, I never got in touch with her. I was never able to have a sit down with her or anyone else that was
Mm.
working the case when it was a missing persons.
Mm-hmm.
It is now a Detective Nunez, or Noonie, I'm not sure, but she is over the homicide department, and I've been trying to reach out to them as well, and I still have not had anybody reach out to me. No TPD has reached out to me in regards to what's been going on with my child. Regardless of the fact that I am not the legal custodian, I am still her mother. That I was going to say I do believe that she has friends in high places,
Mm-hmm.
even if she's not in a high place herself. I do believe
Mm-hmm.
that she could very likely have friends in high places. I'm not sure, but the happenings and the inner workings of this case isn't making sense. Not even the slightest clue. My kid was a sweet kid. She's got a good spirit. She's a joyful person. I know even because there's other things that have happened in her life. Hold on, baby. Yes. What time is it? What time is it? Yeah. It's 7:40. Do you have somewhere to be? I don't need a house. Oh, well, maybe you should take the drawstring bag off your head, Mama. Come on. You can see now? Yeah. All right. All right, baby, go play, okay? Be safe. And don't run away. No, don't run. I don't want you to fall. You don't want me to fall? No, I don't want you to hurt. I don't want you to fall and get hurt. And I'll hurt and get a boo-boo? Yeah. And, and they call you a
Thanks.
right now, I'm just going to say, as of right now, neither me nor my mother have control of my daughter's estate until we make it. Okay. Until we make it into probate court, nothing is happening as of now. Um, I don't know too much about the text messages.
Mm-hmm.
I know that from what I saw, she was texting herself. Had she been texting someone else, the responses would have been on opposite sides. I know they were saying that there was a second phone or something where the responses were on either side. But if that was the case, you could have just screenshotted or screen recorded that and sent it versus sending everything individually. My mom's not stupid. She knows how to
Mm-hmm.
do those things. I think it was a matter of her texting herself, trying to come up with a different narrative and a different storyline as to Keimani disappeared too. Because
Okay.
originally she said she got off at 7, which would have been around the time that my daughter was supposed to leave for school. Then she said she didn't get off until 9. Then she said she didn't get off until she didn't get well, she said she didn't get off until 9, and I guess she didn't get home until 10 o'clock. These are the issues that I have with what she said about how she found the house. Number one, when I got there, the day that I got there, after we did our search party, my mother had been released from being interrogated, and
Okay.
I caught her walking into her house. So after she walked in, I walked in behind her, and I was like, "Mom," and she gave me an attitude. She's like, "What's up?" And I said, "Mom, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. Mama, where is my baby?" And then she decided to hug me and was like, "Oh, baby, it's okay." Right?
Mm.
So I ended up my mother while we were in her house. I said, "Ma," I said, "when you came home from work, was the door open or was it unlocked?" She said, "No, it wasn't open. It was just unlocked." First thing, I'm going to tell y'all because I know how my mother is. I'm not going to say my daughter was raised, but my daughter was trained that whenever she leaves out the house, because she has her own set of keys, if she
Mm-hmm.
would have left on her own, she would have locked that door. No way around that. If my daughter would have left that house on her own, she would have locked that door. That would have been my first reason to call the fucking police. Number two, she said that my daughter's panties were in the dining room and her pants were in the living room. My daughter, she is a teenager. She has been dealing with some insecurities. My daughter does not get dressed anywhere except for in the bathroom or in her bedroom. And if someone is in the room with her, regardless of who it is, she will not get changed. So the fact that you saw my daughter's clothes anywhere outside of the bathroom or the bedroom is yet another problem. Yet another reason I would have called the police. But then she said that the rug in front of the couch where my daughter's keys and glasses were left was kicked
Mm-hmm.
up. My daughter cannot see without her glasses. She's not going to leave that house without her glasses. There's a sign of a struggle. I'm calling the police. And the very last thing, my mom smokes like a fucking chimney. She claimed that when she walked into the house, the gas pilots were on the stove. The last call that my daughter placed was at 1:45 in the morning, and that was to her dad. And according to him, he never received it. My daughter went missing at approximately 1:45, and you didn't get home until about 10 o'clock. That's about a good 8 hours that that gas stove would have been on. 9 times out
Ooh.
of 10, knowing my mother, she would have walked into that house smoking. Baby,
Ooh.
fuck up.
Would
Not only
mm.
that, but seeing as the door was closed and simply unlocked, when she opened that door, all the gas that's been released, it would have knocked her out. Don't believe her. I'm sorry, I don't fucking believe her. Could not tell you if it was not, and I'm gonna say this, and I need people to understand again, me and my mom did not have a good relationship.
Okay.
If you ask any of my cousins, they will tell you they've always felt like my mother was jealous of me. I just thought like, okay, maybe I'm not the daughter that I think I am, you know. But when it came to me and my mom, if it was not about my child, I did not communicate with her. I didn't have a reason to talk to her. We're not friends. We're not cool.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to my child's father, if it was not about my daughter, you cannot call my phone. I don't
Okay.
fuck with you like that. And you're in a whole relationship. There's no other reason you should be calling me besides where our daughter is concerned. So I
Mm.
don't know what they had going on behind the scenes. I have not even the slightest clue. As a pit bull mix and a chihuahua, definitely they would have been dead for sure. So my family actually told me, and there's a lady that took a picture of one of the people. There's a
Mm-hmm.
woman, her name is Shabu Carson on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
She was living in my mother's home. Apparently, she's a crackhead. She's homeless, and my mother let her stay there so she could get on her feet. Her and her boyfriend, Bob O, or something like that, Bob O, or something like that, were living in the house with my mother and my daughter. Um, and that's all that I know was actively living there when my daughter
Mm-hmm.
went. Um, and Shabu, at one point when my daughter had first went missing, um, was pretending to be me, and a lady, her name is Love Jen on Facebook, took a picture of her, and she was running around in hysterics talking about some, can you please help me find my baby? um, I don't know Shabu. Shabu don't know me. I've never
Mm-hmm.
seen this woman a day in my life. She could not have known Keimani that long. So for her to play that role is largely disturbing for me.
I'm gonna start from what I know. I was
Okay.
sleeping. I was asleep. Tara called me early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
She did tell me Kimani was missing. I
Okay.
was still waking up, and I was like, "What?" She like Kimani's missing. I could tell by the tone of her voice that she was serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what happened? I was like, she doesn't run away. So what happened? And she described to me about how the scene was, how her mother's house was, what her mother claimed, and also with the gas pillars. If you do have a gas stove, it does give off gas when it's on. Um, and I instantly woke up, and I was like, how Tiara found out about it shocked me because I do know that Dorothy does have Tiara blocked. Usually, if there's a communication, it would be through Darnell or someone else. As far as like Kimani visiting, this is to also answer the question in the comment. She did have multiple visits with her daughter. Her father would be the form of transportation. Um, so I was like, okay. So I'm like, okay, what can we do? We were trying to get an Amber Alert issued. They did say that Kimani did not meet the requirements. I think she met two of three or two of four. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they
Don't quote
said
me
we
on how many there is.
yeah, they said we met 3 out of 4 of the criteria needed to get an Amber Alert.
So Tara started calling the police departments, the sheriff's departments, trying to get posters out, trying to basically get this news out. Hours have gone by. I believe it was around noontime when I was spoke to her again on kind of like an update of what's going on. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really like serious. Because I mean, I know how kids are sometimes. They'll either leave early, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
everything that was said, I was just like, oh no, this doesn't sound right. The story that Dorothy was saying, it wasn't making sense at all. And I was like, no, that's one, especially when you know how a child is, especially at her age, at the age of 13, it's just like she's more capable of talking. If something's going on, I'm pretty sure she would have let her grandmother know, hey, grandma,
Mm-hmm.
this is going on. What stuck out to me was the calls. I believe Darnell staged them, and that's just my opinion. Why would you
Mm.
call Darnell? Basically, what I'm trying to say is in Kimani's phone. or Darnell's phone, whatever which one was found with this, that it called Darnell and his girlfriend, but not the grandmother. That stuck out to me because I was like, okay, he called himself. That's what I assumed, that he called himself, and he called his girlfriend because he knew her phone was on Do Not Disturb and she was most likely not going to answer. That's just my own theory on it. The text
Hmm.
messages stuck out to me, and I instantly knew it was BS because the first set of text messages were all merged on the left side of the phone, and they were also gray. There was no replies on that one. I could tell it was from an iPhone by the way the text message is set up. It came from an iPhone the first time I saw the messages. The second time had someone on FaceTime in the corner, and it had pictures of an Android phone, which had green text messages, and I could also tell the phone was Android. So I'm like, And something else that stuck out to me was in the screenshot with the text messages, there was a 302 number. Someone we know called that 302 number, and Dorothy answered the phone. This is supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be the hostage's phone number, though. If the
Hmm.
hostage is texting you
Yeah.
for 4,000, when we're going to be
Eh,
realistic, 4,000 is not ransom money. I've never heard of any situation, and I watch a lot of crime shows and stuff. Nobody's going to ask for $4,000 in ransom money. There was a red flag. And like I said, also, they came from two different devices, an Android and an iPhone. I believe she was texting herself. And when she answered that phone with that 302 number that was supposed to be the hostage, she answered the phone. Now was a text now number. A text now, text free. Those are apps where you could pick any area code to any city. You don't have to live there. But it's a fake number. A lot of people have text now, and now is a text now number. If you would like to look at the number, you can listen to the voicemail. The text now caller you
Hmm.
have dialed is not available right now. Text now.
Right.
For sure. I'm not about to deal with no disrespect. Melissa, because you've been real rude and real disrespectful. First things first, children's services has not been involved since my daughter was a year and a half. So where you're talking about how you used to foster and all that other stuff, that makes no difference in this here situation. Children's services has not been involved since my daughter was a year and a half. She was given my godmother, Monique Taylor, was given guardianship when my daughter was a year and a half. She kept her until she was about 6 or 7. And unbeknownst to me, my daughter was passed to my mother. My mother did not let me know she had my daughter until my daughter was turning 11 because she wanted me to get her some shit for her birthday. So when you come at me, make sure you come correct, please. Did not want to do this interview.
Melissa,
No.
I want to say this real quick and I'll get off of it. Melissa, I've been looking at your chat the whole time. You haven't been asking questions, even criticizing. Oh, and you're adding yourself. That's the thing. Everyone's not the same. We may go through similar situations. That does not mean we all have the same outcome. Living in Ohio, you would know how strict and unfair the system is. Just because you were able to foster doesn't mean the next person can. And you can both be qualified. So, respectfully,
One thing's for
Okay.
certain and two things for sure. As I said, I didn't want to be here. I was asked to come up here. I didn't want to be
Yeah.
here. I didn't ask nobody to interview me. As I said, I'm not
Right.
here trying to get profit from my daughter. I'm not here trying to do nothing but see to it that misinformation is clarified and see to it that my daughter gets what she rightfully deserves.
Mm.
Back for the people in the back that want to keep standing up and screaming, talking about some, oh, she's just not sad enough. Oh my fucking God.
sure.
People
Well,
in the
sure.
back that want to keep screaming, oh, she's not sad enough or she's not mad enough. Oh, I'm plenty fucking mad. I'm plenty fucking sad. But what I am before anything is in fucking shock because this is not something that I ever imagined I would have to go through. No mother ever plans on having to bury their fucking child. Number one. Number two, I have been on fucking autopilot for the vast majority of the goings on with this fucking situation. because I have depression. I deal with that. But if I break down now, nothing will be done. My daughter will not
Right.
get that justice that she so rightly deserves. If I break down, Keimani falls, and I'm not gonna let that happen. If I grieve right now, my daughter will not have a good send off. The community ain't standing behind me for nothing, baby. Kid, I love everybody that loves my kid, that is standing up for justice for my kid. But
Mm-hmm.
please, and that's the only thing I've asked because I already don't have energy for this. I'm doing this for y'all, not for me. I don't want the attention. I'm an introvert. I prefer to stay home, stay in my bed. I don't like people. This isn't getting me anywhere. This isn't doing me any favors. But I know y'all had questions and I know y'all wanted answers. That is the only
Mm-hmm.
reason I'm here.
And I,
Real quick, let
okay.
me say this because I did get out of pocket real fast. I want to say again, I'm not here for clout. I'm not here for attention. I'm not here trying to make money off of my daughter. I solely want justice. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's all about her. It's all about Keimani. It will always be about Keimani. People are up here saying that everybody's lying, things aren't making sense. But in the same token, I'm the only one that is up here setting up foundations to make sure that other kids that are going through the same abuse don't have to keep suffering. I'm the only one trying to get bills passed to make sure that kids have a safe haven and like I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that this doesn't have to happen again. I don't want anybody to ever have to go through this. I never in a million years thought that I would have to be burying my baby. I need y'all to know that she was my first why. She was my first reason to keep fucking pushing and to keep fucking going. Before I had her, I was very unstable. And there were plenty of times where I felt like giving up. There were plenty of times where I felt like ending it all. And my baby was the only thing that snapped me back into reality and made me be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it one more go. This is not easy for me, but this is not a fucking Lifetime movie either. I understand some people wouldn't be able to stomach this shit, but I'm doing it the best way I know how.
Obviously, sadly, when stuff like this happens, you hear about things that were done prior, but they were not taken serious. The school did reach out in December last year, March this year twice, March this year prior to Kimani going missing. The school, from what I recall, the school was supposed to take a visit. They were supposed to visit the grandmother the Tuesday that Kimani went missing. That right there
Mm.
also raised my antennas because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the school, they did try. Caseworkers, Toledo only had 2 caseworkers at the time, which I don't really care. That's not an excuse. You guys need more staff. There is way more children in Toledo than there is caseworkers. That is completely unacceptable, which means that
Mm-hmm.
based off their caseloads, they would take cases based off their priority, which that right there shows me where they failed Kimani. They did not take her case as a severe priority. It was just looked at, closed, and not looked
Right.
at again. The school
Right.
has tried multiple times over the years. Last year in December, last year in March, and this is public information. You can go look it up yourself at the Ohio Central Registry, and you can type in your school's name. Um, but yeah, they were supposed to have a visit. That Tuesday, Kimani went missing. And I instantly thought, are you trying to hide something? Was the grandmother
Mm.
mad about something? The
So
school did
from
notice bruises on
so
Kimani. Go ahead.
really quick, I wanted to add because of what Jazz just said. I'm sorry. Real quick, I wanted to add that the basketball coach did say that he or she had called and made a report, and the social worker was supposed to be coming out that Tuesday, which my daughter just so happened to disappear. The basketball coach has said that they had just put in a report the week prior, and the
Mm-hmm.
caseworker was supposed to be at my mother's house that the same Tuesday that my daughter magically went missing.
Wow.
So just wanted to throw that in there. I'm sorry. I mean, I went through child protective services, and when I was going through it myself, because I was taken from Toledo as well. When I was going through child protective services myself, there were multiple times where I was beat and raped in my foster homes, and they didn't even the people that did that to me were not prosecuted. They still went on to continue being foster parents. They never did anything. They just simply took us out of that home and moved us to another. Within the 18 years that I was in foster care myself, I went through 42 different homes.
Okay.
Kelly and Jeannie, I was abused in her care when I was young. I was 2 years and 2 months old when they took
Wow.
me from my mother. And
Mm.
my case file said that when they retrieved me, I was beaten, bloodied, and bruised. And that
Wow.
was the reason why I tried so hard. And I tried to go the legal route versus getting physical with her because I did want
Damn.
to do it the safest way for my child. I expected, whether it was the police, whether it was my lawyers, whether it was children's services, period, they don't have the best rap, but I expected someone to do something. According to what was written in my case file,
Mm-hmm.
verbatim, they said that when I was retrieved from my mother's care, I was beaten, bloodied, and bruised. Um, but
Wow.
yeah, and that was at 2 years and 2 months old. Which is why I'm not understanding why any legal team,
Mm.
regardless of whether it was child protective services or just a lawyer or even a judge, I don't understand why they would have given her custody. I do find it funny that, according to my godmom, she's had my daughter since she was 6 or 7. Like I said, I didn't find out until my daughter was turning 11 that my mother even had her. But I do find it
Wow.
strange that my mother only got custody of my daughter end of August, beginning of September, and in less than 6 months, my child is dead. Y'all could have prevented this.
Mm.
Had the job been done properly, this would not have happened.
Hmm.
I would like to interject and say something real quick. Um,
Okay.
so with Kimani being with her godmother, um, I spoke to Tara many times while Kimani was with her godmother, which I mean I knew she was there,
Mm.
but I didn't know the depths of like how long she's been there. But I've always known the godmother to be greedy. I would see her as well use Kimani as a pawn. And
Okay.
that Kimani was with her godmother when I was talking to Tara, the godmother, her intentions was money. Like it was many times where Tara would call me upset like, hey, my godmother wants this and this and this. I knew her situation at the time, and she did the best that she could do. What do you do? Like, if you have all the money you have bills, you're paying her for this, you're paying this, and she's coming and coming and coming. I get it. I know that kids, it takes a village to raise a child. But I felt like that right there is taking advantage of her. And with Tiara, when it budged, the way Dorothy or the godmother would, they would use Kimani as a pawn. The godmother specifically, which is what I'm referring to first, she would
Mm-hmm.
threaten to throw Kimani in children's services if Tiara didn't do what she wanted. That right there is just unacceptable. And that showed what type of care these people were giving her. She's a
Mm.
child. She is sorry. She is a child. She was the future. Children are the future. Whatever we do, we leave behind for our kids to pick up and finish. They treated
Mm.
her as if she was just something you just trade and you just give away. And just, if
Yeah.
you don't get what you want. Oh, well, I
So
need money for food. I need money for this. Oh, you don't want to do it? I'm giving her the children's services. That is just sickening.
so I did not find out until after my mom got my daughter. Well, after she told me anyways. But I found out that my godmom, Monique Taylor, so from what I was told, my godmother claimed that she had a mental breakdown conveniently around the same time that her daughter had her first grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she had left my daughter on my mother's front porch. Didn't ring the doorbell, didn't knock on the door, left my daughter and all of her belongings on the porch of my mom's.
Damn.
Apparently, now I don't know about everybody else, but I know what I eat, my kids eat. So if I'm eating good, my kids are eating
Yeah.
good. And if there's not enough food to go around, when my kids are hungry, I'll feed them and I'll starve for a couple of days. I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, they still growing. But I was also told that my godmom, she would leave little stuff at the bottom of the fridge. My daughter was made from like the age of 4 to fend for herself. So it would be like lunch meat, cheese cubes, peanut butter and jelly, that type of stuff, and a plastic knife. And the whole time my godmom is eating steak and lobster and shit in my daughter's face. So my daughter has never been treated justly. Never.
Mm.
I'm
Because you
just
know some.
upset that I
Yeah.
didn't find out about the happenings, everything that was going on and the severity of what was going on until later. Because I've always
Wow.
tried. I even at one point, because I'm like, I want everybody to be comfortable. I still want a relationship with my kid. When my
Mm-hmm.
godmom had my daughter, I had my place. My daughter's room was completely set up, and that was the first place that I had, or no, the second place that I had down here.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited them. I said, I know y'all don't want to get on the bus. I know you were saying your car was down. So I paid for a flight for you and my daughter here and back. Everything you need while you're here will be taken care of. All you got to do is get on. And she blocked me. About this
Like she
until
didn't.
after my mom got her. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, my mom's doing the right thing by my daughter. I didn't know all this other shit was going on.
Hmm.
6 or 7.
Yeah, she couldn't really say.
6 or 7 is when my mom got her, when my godmom left her on the doorstep. But I did not know that my mom had her until like maybe a month or so before her 11th birthday. That's a distraction tactic because
Hmm.
because my godmom hasn't been involved in ages. I think she did that simply to throw us off, to further throw us off her scent.
Mm.
I can't get it off right now. Ask Will. Go potty first. Go potty first.
Wow.
Yes, that's what I did say. That I felt like it was more so of a financial thing because how dare you take care of take how dare you try to take care of someone, agree to take care of them, and then try to throw them away. Oh, well, I'm going to throw them in children's services if you don't do this. That's not what you do to someone you love. And that's not what you do to a child you're caring for. And that is not what you do to a child that you cared for. I understand, a lot of people can understand how kids are. When you really love a child, that would have never crossed your mind. And I feel
So
like
is that
she
what they?
was. They could get benefits
So,
off of her. That's what they
okay.
wanted. They both
I'm
had
sorry.
jobs, supposedly. But they wanted more and more and more.
Hmm. So did
My
she?
godmother was an LPN. She didn't need money. Being
Mm-hmm.
paid from the government for taking care of my daughter. My
Mm-hmm.
godmom didn't need
Right.
nothing. Doesn't need a reason to get revenge on people. This is the
Mm-hmm.
same woman that I've literally been told stories about like that my godmother and my mom sat up and laughed about it. A time where my mother went to the bar. She seen it was some girl's birthday. The girl had her money on her shirt, and my mother snatched the girl's money off her shirt and then went in the parking lot and waited for her to come out so she could fight her. My mother
Wow.
don't need a reason.
Hmm.
My mother like that.
Hmm.
Where's my mother?
Um
Mm-hmm.
I do think that was the initial plan. Because my mom had started calling me back in February, trying to get things together for her birthday.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I do believe that there was gonna be a party for her 14th birthday. She was telling me how my daughter wanted to go roller skating because she wanted to be with her friends. She
Mm-hmm.
wanted a party at the house for the family, so she could hang out with her cousins and everything. And my mom was get because my mom wanted to get a custom cake or whatever, so she said, and she was asking me about funds for that and different stuff. My mom has always been a big party person. I have videos. I don't know if anybody is on TikTok, but you guys can go on my TikTok and see um, her 11th birthday. Uh, but she's always been a big party person. The I know on her 11th birthday when I went down there, everybody in the house was literally shoulder to shoulder, and we were still letting people in because we were turning up for my child. Um,
Okay.
but I do believe she had plans on a birthday party. I just think some things went horribly wrong before they got to it.
You.
Yeah, I already have a lawsuit filed against them.
Okay. Okay.
What
Showed
would have to
me
answer?
the presence that she had in there. So I know she
Okay.
was at least trying to do something for her. Like
Okay.
I said, I just think things went horribly wrong. She had her entire closet was filled with nothing but gifts for Kimani. She had like some clothes thrown in front of it and over top of the stuff, but her entire closet was packed full with stuff for
Mm-hmm.
Kimani and stuff for an Easter party. I guess Kimani wanted to throw. So there's five of us. The youngest
Mm-hmm.
one, he's about, I believe, a good. Well, when I came home, I was 19. I believe he was 10. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and all the rest of us were stair step kids. So literally one after another, except for me and Sanika, we're 2 years apart, obviously.
Wow. Okay.
But the younger ones, the three that came directly after me, they were taken immediately, and she waited some years before she had my youngest brother. From what my grandma had told me a couple years ago, he was supposed to have been taken too, but she
Mm-hmm.
sent him to Arizona with my grandmother.
Okay.
This is still an active investigation. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I don't even know. I'm trying to give y'all answers to the questions of my life and Kimani's life. As I can give y'all questions about our lives, I cannot give y'all any answers about what happened in her final moments or what happened afterwards. I don't know. Never. And I
Okay.
think that was for a reason, because they
Oh.
knew I would have flipped. They knew I would have flipped a wig if I saw my baby hurt.
Okay.
I have my youngest daughter with me now, and
Mm-hmm.
there's other kids that my foster sister's kids and stuff that I'm around. I don't whoop them. I make them stand in the corner. I make them hold up books. I physically train them. That's what I do. I don't whoop my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Three. He has
Okay.
all girls. Kimani is the oldest, and then there's a young girl. I believe she's about 5 or 6 now. Her name is Arabella, and then his youngest daughter, who's about a year now, her name's Delilah.
Okay.
her story from jump just doesn't make any sense. I think she played a very big part in it.
Wow.
They planned after I don't know what went wrong, but whatever went
Mm-hmm.
wrong after it went wrong, I think they set a plan on how they were going to try to get rid of my daughter. Because as I said prior, I didn't find out until after we went to that house. But you know, people dig. And my grandma used to own that house. Grandma used to own the house that my daughter's body was found in. And that
Damn.
house was due to be torn down. That house was due to be condemned. And I think what they thought was gonna happen was they were gonna put her in that house. The house would be torn down and no one would be the wiser as to what exactly happened to my child.
Wow.
A lot of evidence could have been destroyed had they torn that house down with my baby in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the plan. Out of y'all, yes, that is my mother. Yes, that is the woman that gave me birth. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have had that woman saved in my phone as the unholy portal for a very long time. As far as the community
Teresa.
is concerned, um,
Mm-hmm.
I know Jazz has some things to say about that. As far as
Okay.
what I have to say, though, you know, I'm obviously very appreciative. I love the way that y'all step behind my baby. I've never seen no community go that hard. I love y'all. I am so appreciative of y'all. The tenacity that y'all had, the initiative that y'all showed, y'all making missing flyers and search and rescues and making
Mm-hmm.
clothes with missing flyers on it, just everything. I love y'all. I will
Hey.
forever acknowledge the love that y'all showed my baby. I will forever acknowledge the way that y'all showed up and showed out for my child. That will never be forgotten. Never ever. I've never seen nothing like that. But I'm glad, as messed up as Toledo can be, I am so glad that y'all did what y'all did. Because if
Mm-hmm.
not, it could have went so things are already really, really fucking bad. Things have
Mm-hmm.
already, as far as my child is concerned, as bad as it can get. Appreciate y'all 100%.
On behalf of, because I'm here for support. But I would like to say thank you for the people that took time out of their day, out of their lives, away from their own families and children
Yes.
to come out and search. That right there is a big thing. I feel like a community that stands together will grow together. It was very stressful. I appreciate the people that, again, did take their time. And I pray for the people that were affected by this. You don't have to be family to be affected by something like this. You know, what I also want to say is to the community that it doesn't stop here. Together, we can stop anything like this from happening. We can try our best. This world is nothing but evil, honestly. But together, we can set up resources to better help these children. They are our future and they deserve it. And if it would be the best idea and the best interest of the community to be calm. Yes, there's so many people that want to crash out behind this, and it's very understandable, but it will not get anything done. The best thing to do
Okay.
is let the detectives do their job, let the police do their job. Everybody wants answers, as it would be with any case. Everybody wants answers, but there's a way to go about things. Attacking the mother online, saying this and saying that, if you don't hear it off the news or out of the mother's mouth themselves or from the people that are family, then just let it go. The thing is Keimani will get justice. It's justice for Keimani and all the other angels as well in Toledo that have lost their lives to reckless, evil people. And that's really all I wanted to say.
So before we go, Mr. Community, real quick.
Okay.
Um, well, your community. First off, I also, and I don't want to negate that people all over the world have tuned into this. You know, I've gotten messages from kids, adults. I've gotten messages from
Wow.
all over the US as well as the UK, that are, standing up for justice for Kimani. I want to let you guys know that not only am I standing up for justice for her, but I'm standing up for justice for all the kids to come. As of right now, I am working to try to get a bill signed into effect called Keimani's Law, to further
Okay.
protect kids that are being abused. I am setting up a I'm working on setting up a foundation called the Keimani Foundation, and all proceeds will go to battered and abused children. Um, I am also working on building a safe haven called the Keimani Effect, and I would love, if we as a community could come together and do this. I want to run it as a nonprofit, and it's a safe haven. Obviously, we would have to have some semblance or knowledge that the child has been abused, and it would take is a simple phone call to the police office, to a police.
Hmm.
Make a report on your way to that safe haven, and let them know that you are being abused and you need a safe haven, and they will direct you to the Kimani Effect. But it will be a safe haven and a safe place for kids to go until they can find, and we can help them find, a safe home for them to go to. The Kimani Effect, the Kimani's Law, and the Kimani Foundation is something that I am actively working on. I would love for us as a community, us as a nation, us as the planet Earth to be able to come together on this. I love you all. I love you so much. And one
Okay.
last thing, as of
Hmm.
now, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. You want a cold one? Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why she said a cold one like it was beer. It's fucking. She handed me a sweet tea talking about some. You want a cold one? But so as of now, there are no GoFundmes that are going to anything having to do with Kimani.
Okay.
So any GoFundmes that you guys see, if it is not by Catherine Moore, please do not donate. As far as donations to funeral homes, please do not do that. We are not at that stage yet. I will definitely keep in touch, and I will definitely keep you guys up to date on what's going on. My Cash App is open. As I said before, I am trying to get a lawyer so that I can give my daughter a proper send off. I'm due to be in probate court on the 8th. So anyone that wants to help with that, I will give my Cash
Okay.
App for that so that I can pay a lawyer. But
Okay.
outside of that, I'm not asking for anything else at this time. Um, I will eventually, once the dust has settled, I will be putting up a GoFundMe, or a crowd share or something, so that we
Hmm.
can get up the money and the resources that we need in order to make sure that the Kimani Foundation, the Kimani Effect, and Kimani's Law is put into place. Um, but until then, we are not accepting funds in any way, form, or fashion for Kimani.
Thank you all again for your support, for the time of your day, and together we can make a difference. The purpose of this live was to clear up a lot of things that are said on social media, and they're directly coming from the source. This is not for a profitable reason. This is real life. This is a real situation. This is someone's child, sister, niece, friend, and it's just sad that we have a grieving mother that is literally still trying to live life. Life doesn't stop because situations come up, and it's sad. Some people don't have the proper time to grieve. Some people still have to go to work. There's other kids around, and you can't just stop your life. But that does not mean that they're not fighting. That does not mean that the right thing cannot happen. And that was the basis of this live. This is not for profit. No one's earning anything. So we can clear that up right now. This is not for a profitable thing. Um, Nobody's getting views as far as like digital creators and stuff like that, but more so to get the message out there. Again, together we can. One step at a time, but together we can. And have justice for Kimani. And have the perpetrators brought to justice.
Always gonna stand with my city. You know, I was born and raised in Toledo. Um, I spent a good portion, not all my life, but I did spend a good portion of my life there. I currently reside in Cleveland, and I don't know where I'm meant to be in these next couple of years. Um, but as she said, you know, together we can, and whew, not gonna lie, this is a lot. Um, but wherever you are, however you are, I hope that you're okay. I'm definitely sending out peace and blessings to all of y'all. Um, oh
Too.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're
Uh,
good. I
to
just
the
wanted to
people
ask
that
you really quick.
have. Oh, hold on, what? I can hear nothing.
Wanted to ask you guys, ask you, is it okay if because like I said, I am trying to get some funding. I don't know how much a lawyer is gonna cost for probate court. I'm not gonna put out any specific number because I don't know how much a lawyer generally costs. Um, but is it okay if I put my Cash App in there? And is it okay? Because I am going to set up a PO box because I've seen that it's a lot of people that want to do things for Keimani or want to send things in honor of Keimani. Um, when I'm going to set up a PO box this week so that people can send things for her or for the family. Is it okay once I have that set up if I reach out to you for you to share that? They were saying, you know, someone had okay, so it's not letting me uh oh, okay, here it goes. So I'm going to wasn't letting me at first. So this is my Cash App. It is under Honey Kisses. It has her picture on there. The same photo that you guys see right now is on the Cash App. I tried to change the name so that you guys would know that it was me, but it won't let me. The Cash App should be in the comments or whatever. I'm not sure. Um, and then once I get the PO box set up, I'll send it directly to you, Mr. And we can go from there. I know the LA Lakers were trying to um, make a jersey in her honor. I know there was Dewey Lights had named a star in her honor, and I know there's different things that come with that. But at least then, anyone that wants to do something in my daughter's honor will have a safe place to send it.
um, Excuse me. By the sister Seneca about the service being today. I put that out with good intentions and it backfired. It was not correct. The funeral director did come out and say that, you know, it wasn't being held there. So, no, as of right now, there is no date for that. I'm sorry if you did see my post. I was just posting based off the information I heard. And I'm sorry for anybody that did go out there or wanted to go out there, but no service has been um, started or anything like that. Also, to another comment, everybody needs help at some time in life.
So
GoFundMe's have been reported. Hold on.
yeah, go ahead.
GoFundMe's have been reported with the bashing of this grieving mother. She still needs help. You know, there's certain places that have denied her help just because of their thoughts of her. So I feel like being a good Samaritan, being a good human, being a child of God, you don't knock anybody down through their hardest times. And that's why I say together as a community we can. We're supposed to uplift each other. You know, what if it was you on the other end going through this?
So just to clarify, because I do want very clear, I want this to come across as a very clear message. Um, there are no GoFundMe's. If the publisher of the GoFundMe is not Katrina Moore, it's not going to my family. It's not going to help my daughter. So as of right now, because I'm not aware of the GoFundMe's out there, I'm going to say there is not one. There is no GoFundMe. As of right now, as far as her funeral procession is concerned, I am going to probate court to secure control of my daughter's estate. That will be on the 8th of this month into
Okay.
but
Yeah.
until this case has made it outside of probate court, there are no funeral arrangements. So, Carter, I see your message. So I do want to have a public service because I do want the community to be able to say their last goodbyes too. She has a lot of family and a lot of friends. Um, a lot of people that she knew that were in the community and in her school that I know want to be able to say their final goodbyes. So I do plan on having a public service for that reason. But there will also be a private service for close family. Thank you for your question. I know my cousin
Okay.
Katrina had made a
Okay.
GoFundMe,
Katrina.
but I don't know I'm not aware of what the title on that is. So
Okay.
I can't direct you to the page itself. I
Okay.
don't know how she because I know you have to set a title on GoFundMe, but I don't know
Hmm.
what she set it as. So I'm not gonna direct you anywhere. But Katrina Moore is the only person that
Okay.
I know is accepting
Okay.
funds on Keimani's behalf. But anything outside of that, I'm not aware of. So if it's more that posted it, if you have no way of verifying that it is Big Cat Moore, please do not send to those GoFundMe's.
Okay.
Can do that because I don't. I was trying to set up a GoFundMe, but I couldn't even figure out the inner workings of that. I don't know how you would even go about making someone a beneficiary. So, like I said, as of right now, I'm just gonna say we're not accepting that.
All right. Let me see much.
So,
All right.
if you would like to speak to me, because quite frankly, I wasn't planning on doing this interview at all. I would really like to wait until um, after the dust has settled, because I do want to do a tell all, and really go deep and in depth with everything and give everybody the answers that they're looking for. Right now, I'm not gonna do any more interviews because I do want to focus on giving my daughter a proper send off. But if you would like to reach out to me, my name is Bella De Latigue. Um, on Facebook. All other platforms, it is the Jeannie LaRue, Jeannie, and then LaRue is LAROUX. Um, as far as her jersey number, her jersey number was 10.
Oh.
So I'm gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna drop the same way I just did, letting me put it in the regular chat. Um,
Okay.
so my Facebook is
All right. Just put it back there behind there.
yeah,
And
I'm doing it now.
okay.
Bella De Latigue. And my message requests are still open. Um
All right, I
My
see.
is that all other platforms is the Jeannie LaRue. Okay. Um and you guys can reach out to me either way. It's fine.
I'm gonna answer this
But yeah, as
question from
far as her
Michelle.
jersey number, her number was
All right, let me.
10.
There's
Her
the
jersey.
Facebook.
This comment from Michelle. Um, so the purpose of the GoFundMe is even after Kimani services, this movement for Kimani will not stop. There will be help for the community, children in need as well, and also to the students in her school. I do not know if they have a therapist, for them, but these kids also these kids are grieving, and to be a child to lose a friend is not something you get over easily. Support for her school will be included in that as well. A foundation for Kimani will be set up. The law her mother is trying to get passed, and also shelter for children who have been abused and beaten as well.
So
And the
I'm
thing is
sorry, I'm
not
sorry,
that's not
I'm sorry.
something
Really
you can
fast. I
do
hate to cut you off. I see, Michelle, where you
alone.
said you'll donate to the funeral home. Please do not do that. My daughter is not at a funeral home as of now. We are in probate court actively fighting for custody of Kimani's estate. There is no funeral home that has possession of my daughter right now. You will be wasting your money, love. We are still in probate court. As of right now, as I said, if it is not my cousin, Katrina Moore, or Big Cat Moore, as you would see her on Facebook, do not send anything to any GoFundMe because it is not to benefit, it is not for the benefit of my child, it is not for the benefit of our family, it is not for the benefit of the children that still have to live on this earth. Here is it. Here is my new necklace. Here's my new necklace. Here's my new
Okay, well,
necklace.
yeah, that's all I had to say. I'm done.
As far as the okay, Carter, there. So I had been told that there was supposed to be a funeral. It was supposed to be a private service for her by my mother and my sister. And they only told me this because they wanted me to sign paperwork, which would have given them complete control over my daughter's estate. They knew
Whoa.
that I would not give them that without them giving me what I wanted, which was access to my daughter's funeral. They gave me false information and said that it was supposed to be today at 4 at Castillo's. Unfortunately, because of that post, although I asked people to dress accordingly and to be cordial by all means necessary, there were a lot of people that called Castillo's and were threatening him and his establishment. We have reached out to Castillo. Castillo has reached back out to us. We have come to an understanding, and we have shown accountability for the mistakes made. Mom, don't put baby shark on my obituary. I'm gonna ask you to reach out to me personally. Um, if you would like to still do an obituary, that is fine. I know Jazz was wanting to do one. And I know she was talking about wanting to do a virtual obituary. I don't know if you guys would want to team up on that or keep them separate. But if you would like to, please feel free to reach out to me. That's perfectly okay.
And thank
I know there was
The
someone
virtual
else that was
obituaries.
I know there was someone else that was wanting to um buy her outfit for the day of the service. So yeah, anybody that wants to do anything for the family, for Kimani, in honor of Kimani, again, I am getting ready to set up a PO box this week. Please
you.
feel free to reach out to me on my platforms, and I will give you that information. I'm going to give the information to so that he can let you guys know, how to
Okay.
move from there. But throw this last little tidbit in there because I'm sure some people are wondering, like, for the things that they do send in honor of Keimani, where will it go? Again, I am setting up the PO box so that you guys have a safe place to send it to. Um, but I want to let you guys know because I'm getting ready to move here soon. But in the house that I'm getting ready to move into, Kimani was going to have her own bedroom. In that bedroom, one half was going to be her living area, and then the other half was going to be a small basketball court for her. So like the half court line is where her bed ends, and the rest of it is
Wow.
space for her to play basketball. So anything that's given in honor of Kimani or just for her period will be in that room, will go in that room. We are still giving her that space. She will not be forgotten. I believe as of right now, I believe she is at House of Day. I'm not sure. Please do not quote me.
Mm-hmm.
Last I was told, the coroners was supposed to be on their way back out to go and get her. Because
Okay.
my mother was just bouncing her from funeral home to funeral home. But yeah, please don't quote me on that. I am not sure. Some people in this room that are close to me. I know there are some people in this room that are close to my family. Um, if you guys know something and would like to add anything to probate court, I would suggest. Um, I have to find the paper. I set it down somewhere. I'm not sure. I think my toddler grabbed it. But Miss give you the judge's name. If you guys
Okay.
want to help out on either side, where it comes to securing my daughter's estate, whether it's on my mom's behalf or mine, um, I'm gonna give Mr. Black the judge's names, and you guys can write character witness statements. That
Oh,
way,
okay.
he has those when we go to court. Was there? Mom, I had a shit mom too. If you ever need to talk, reach out. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that. Is there anything else? Any last questions? Why
Why probate?
probate? Because I know that there's no way that me and my mother are going to be able to come to a resolution. My mother wants full control over Kimani, period. I can't I as a mother, I as a person that genuinely loved and cared about my kid, I cannot allow her that last bit of my child's life essence. I can't. I don't want her having access to her. As far as her getting arrested at a service, I know nothing about that. Jeannie, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but Jeannie asked where is the dad. He is
Is
currently in Jackson Pike Jail in Columbus, Ohio.
He does have a brother. His brother's going around Facebook trolling Tiara out of revenge.
But if anybody wants to help in probate court, you guys, my mother. Um, Please feel free to write up character witness statements. Like I said, I'll be reaching out to before the night is over with the judge or the magistrate's name, and you guys can send them directly to him, and that way he'll have them when we go to court. Is he well enough to come here and get charged? Um, he was only in hospital for 2 days, and they moved him to the jail. So I would have to assume, as far
yeah.
as him confessing, um, from what I am aware of, no. He when he was approached by Columbus police, he did not say that he did indeed do this. I'm not standing up for him. I'm not defending him because I don't know what's what. But he did
Mm-hmm.
not say that he did it. He just asked them to please kill him. He did say though, from what I've been told, from what I have seen, and reports that have been made that he is waiting on the right person to come along for him to tell everything. But he did say that my mother is involved.
Oh, y'all hear
I would
that?
like to also I would like
Did
to
y'all hear
also
that?
add I would like to also add that he did admit to sexually assaulting Kimani,
If you want,
but he
I
did
was gonna
not
try to make this short.
confess to
I
killing her,
can't stay on
and
this. I can't stay on
and
this.
said that Dorothy played a bigger part in this than she's trying to make it seem. And
Mm.
honestly, not to defend him, I don't like him anyways. You can ask Tiara,
Mm.
but something
Mm.
in my soul is telling me that grandma did play a part. I've been peeping her body language during interviews, how she acts, how she behaves, how her words are. She seems to be stuttering. And also, like I pointed out to you earlier during her interview, where a reporter asked her,
Mm.
did you know the father? She's like, yeah, he confessed to me. And that right there is what stuck out to Tiara and I, because if he was shot and in a hospital under heavy police view, how would he tell you anything? And she stopped. And I
Mm.
feel like she know that she fucked up when she said that, because the look on her face was like, oh shit, did I really just say that? That is what really stuck out to me then. I don't know if you
Because I still have to get my youngest daughter ready for bed.
Okay.
Is he in Lucas County? From what I know, Jeannie, no, he is not. Um, I'm on a live stream right now. But from what I know, he is not currently in Lucas County. He is in Jackson Pike Jail in Columbus, Ohio. And okay, so it says what are they saying about the other guy, KP or Gabe? Oh, he's in custody. I don't know if he turned himself in or if they picked him up. I'm not sure, but he is in Lucas County custody as of now. I'm gonna so I don't know if you put this up here. What I see on the screen up here
Mhm.
over top of our screens, it says the Preppy Club. What can we do to help? I'd love to help. Like I said, as of right now, if you know me or my mother,
Mm.
please feel free to send character witness statements to the judge. I will be reaching out to the judge's names, so with the judge's names and address to the courthouse, so you guys can go ahead and send those. As I said, right now, only thing I'm trying to do is secure a lawyer. I did drop my cash app in the chat. I also put in my social media handles. So if you guys want to reach out to me that way, you can. I am setting up a PO box for anyone that would like to do anything in honor of my daughter, or for my daughter, or for the family. Um, so if you guys want to send anything, I will also give him the PO box once it's set up. Only thing I want to say is long live Keimani, justice for Keimani, um, pass Keimani's law. Um, the Keimani effect and the Keimani Foundation is fast approaching, and it will be well on its way. I love you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for all the love and support that you've shown my family, me, and my daughter. Thank you for showing up and showing out for her. I love you, and you will never be forgotten. Kimani will never be forgotten.
TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the streets to the world, keep it real, no cap, you're breaking headlines. Put the truth on the map, call it peace. TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never